Hi everyone, I'd like to talk to you about Project for Geometry. This is a really interesting project and I do hope that you will like it. We're actually using geometry to create a community, all right? There's an idea known of as planned community. Probably some of you live in a planned urban development, and that means that the restrictions are put on by the designer. Or you can live in a very organic community, which just simply is something develops naturally. So, for example, if you have a river that runs through your community, there's probably a lot of development around the river because that's how they used to make their commerce. So, that's the difference between regular and organic. So, let's get started. Each week you're going to have a task. Some are journal entries, some are web quests where you're going to do particular things and look up and keep notes. All right, so it should take you about 15 or 20 minutes on each of these tasks. So remember to build it into your schedule. Alrighty, so let's get started about what each task is. And a copy of this is in focal point. So you'll be able to reread. So I just wanted to give you a quick overview of what's happening. So the first one is a web quest where you're looking at a dorm where you would live. And the dorm, we asked you to pick one at ASU. So that'll be fun. All right. Now, you're just researching the housing option and determining the plan that you would like. So that one's just a developmental plan. So you can put in something like, I decided to move into dorm whatever. Okay? All right. And I'm going to extend it a little bit. You don't have to be at ASU. If your dream school is someplace else, then that's okay too. All right. Then you're in the second one, you're going to keep all that information that you did in the first one. And for the second task, you're going to answer these questions. All right. And do a little bit more searching. Now the questions just can be answered in, I'm going to ask full sentences. Always make your contributions full sentences and not like texts. Okay. Because this is scholarly writing. All righty. In task 3, you're going to create, copy, and paste the floor plan of your dorm into a document. Now there's several ways you can do it. You can download it from the internet. You can take a picture of it and upload it that way. Save it as a JPEG. Whatever is most simplest for you. You don't have to download any new documentation. All right. And you want to submit your layout to me. Task 4 is a web quest where we're going to investigate architects and builders and how they use geometry. So you're going to just summarize it in a short 250 words. All right, that's about 2 paragraphs. You could do a paragraph on architectures and you can do a paragraph on builders. This one, you're exploring your home to find 5 different examples of geometric shapes. So that would be really fun because right now I'm looking at a guitar across the room for me, which is sort of a simple closed circle. I'm looking at a television set, which is a rectangle. And so I'm asking you to take a picture of it and upload it. Now, the best way to do something like this is to open up a Word document, take a picture of it, or take a picture of it and upload that into the Word document, and then upload the Word document or PDF into the file. If you don't have the ability to take a picture of something, just write it. That'll be perfect too. All right, write the what it is, so television set, and then your next one, rectangle. So I want what it is and what the shape is. All right, and then we're going to upload that up. Task 6 is this is a really great little TED Talk on don't build your home, grow it. And then I just want you, after you watch it, if you have trouble getting the link, just email me, but it's on TED Talks. And if you put in the search engine, Mitchell Jochum, I'm sorry, I don't know how exactly how to pronounce his name, Don't Build Your Home, Grow It, you can watch it from there. I believe there's 2 or 3 presentations, and they're all pretty much the same. All right, and then just give me your impressions of this. You know, what's really interesting about these is that we're moving into a very geo-friendly building environment. And so it's interesting to see different generations and how they partake in environmental growth. So this one's pretty interesting. This is just a journal recording for you. And it says, according to the United Nations, 54% of the populations live in urban areas. So after you watched his video, imagine some ways urban planners could design and plan city using organic geometry. Remember, organic geometry is the geometry of the nation or the geometry of the land. So for example, I live on the side of a mountain. So that's the geography of the land. It's stepping up, but we don't want to destroy that hill or mountain. We don't want to knock it down. It's actually the foothills of the Rockies. It's really very, very pretty. So, but maybe you're feeling that, well, let's knock it down and create something more structured and more able to grow with the population. So make sure that you read your students' post after your post. Task 8 is compare and contrast the merits of these types of cities, a planned urban development or an organic city. It's interesting with a planned city, you could, I'm going to just play devil's advocate for a minute against the geo people, not geometry, that perhaps a more organized, perhaps a more centered, structured river that could support life. Perhaps the river that's built around there is not safe for the fish. So you could also take that attitude in a planned city. Now, many, many years ago, I was a civil engineer and was responsible for creating a lot of planned urban developments and mini malls. So you ought to take that into consideration. When I look at these, sometimes a more organized structure is more needed. However, things that grow organically perhaps may be longer withstanding, be able to last a longer time, because that was the way it was meant to be. Task 9, but I want your opinion and how you feel. So in task 9, you're finding an aerial photo or image of your city and explain whether or not you think the city was planned or developed organically. Since most of you are from Arizona, you can also find an aerial photograph of perhaps a different city. I'm totally okay with that. Perhaps you want to look at New York City, that's where I was born. Perhaps you'd like to look at Paris, or perhaps you'd like to look at some of the German cities that have developed along the Rhine River. Anything you like to be a little bit more creative is totally welcome. It doesn't have to be that your particular city. And then you're going to, task 10 is just about journaling. So you're going to talk about how did American counties decide where the county seat is, and how did American states decide where the capitals should be located. Task 11 is also, should the capital of the United States be located closer to the center of the country? Why or why not? That's a really interesting discussion, and that's totally your opinion. But remember to back up your opinion with particular facts. And if you'd like to use reference materials and citations, that's okay too. You don't have to APA cite them. Just make sure I know where the information is that you got from the internet or from textbooks. So 12 is another journal entry where I'd like you to just talk about developing your journal. It's really important to journal. They say that most successful people journal every day, just something about their day. Reflection with, I know a lot of us fall in bed exhausted at night, but just to take a moment to reflect on how you did, how you treated people today, how people treated you, how you can make tomorrow a better day, and what you did today that was great that you can use tomorrow. And so that's the importance of journaling, and that's why we do it. It's not just to fill up your time, although sometimes you may feel like that. These projects were created to further your thinking about math. Task 13 is another TED Talk, and that's how I brought a river in my city back to life. And that is also, you can just scroll about a sentence or two about what you felt about the TED Talk and what you found most interesting. Task 14 just wants you to write a really short essay that's no more than the 250 words, which is about 2 paragraphs. I'm not going to count your words. Sometimes I'm more about, being a math person, I'm more about content than length. And so I want it to be well developed. So I want you to explain your community and how they make use of space. And if you ever have the opportunity, it's extremely interesting to go to the community meetings, especially if building is taking place in your community. Task 1516 is just a reflective essay about organic versus planned development, and your experience with the whole project and what you felt about it. So while one of them, I know you're going to think that's very similar to the other one, I want the other one to be reflection of the journey, reflection of journaling, and this one I would like to be reflection of the journey. Alrighty. Thank you so very much. Enjoy your day and enjoy your project.